Hi everyone! Now, in my last video, I finally managed to do that demonstration with the multi-pen, thank God, but I also got a request just before doing that video for a video, hate repeating myself twice, anyway, to discuss sleeping, like does autism or ADHD affect how you sleep? And just to get straight into it, yes it does, absolutely. But before I really expand on everything, I'm going to make a comment of if you like the content and you want to see more, follow me, subscribe, leave a like, comment, questions in the comments, and also requests. And if you like reposts, because it just, helps me with my motivation, may increase followers, which is also a goal, and, it just in general raise awareness for neurodiversity, which is, always good. So let's get into it. Alright, now I have ADHD and autism, yeah, and anxiety can be part of both. Anxiety can affect your sleep a lot, you may be worried or paranoid, kind of jumping ahead with issues you might have or worries you might have about the next day or future events. And the problem with that is when you have anxiety and ADHD and autism, or if you just have ADHD or autism, your thoughts are running a million miles an hour, like I've said before. So these paranoid thoughts are just going to keep coming and coming and coming and coming, and it's going to make it hard to fall asleep, because that tends to be my main problem about falling asleep, is I can't stop thinking. The best way I can describe it is it's like your body is sleepy, wants to go to sleep, but your brain is wide awake. So now when it comes to autism specifically, I'm going to talk about autism affecting sleep specifically in this video, just be out of respect for the person who requested it, because they confirmed they have autism and anxiety, but they're not sure if they have ADHD. So in the next video, I'll cover how ADHD affects sleep, because it kind of differs slightly. Anyway, now it's shown that in over half of children with autistic, with an autistic disorder, suffer from chronic sleep disorders also. So they'll have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep. They may wake up several times in the night. And depending on how severe the autism is for that child on the spectrum, they may need toys or blankets or some sort of special bedding to help them fall asleep. So, or sometimes needed an adult to be that. Now, when I was a kid, I had teddies, yeah? I would keep teddies close, and it's like, if I was on my own, I felt alone, my mind was moving, but if I had a teddy with me and I could feel it, so it's kind of like a sensory thing as well, if I could feel it next to me, something about that comfort helped me fall asleep. Now, one of my brothers, he's 13, right? But he has tons of teddies. Yeah, tons of toys that he's built up over years. And he still loves them just as much now as he ever did. And he's not embarrassed about it. And you know what? Kudos, because why should he be? So, and he likes to have them when he falls asleep. Sometimes he struggles and sometimes he doesn't. But when he does, having those with him really help him. And when he was younger, he would be slaying in a whole heap full of teddies. My other brother, my parents got them weighted blankets, so I don't know, it's kind of they keep you warm, but on top of that, with the weight of it on top of you while you're trying to sleep, it's not uncomfortable, but it kind of helps you to stay in place. It kind of helps you feel not constricted, because that sounds bad, but something about it helps you reduce your movement, because that's another thing. If your brain is moving a million miles an hour, you tend to move a lot, right? And the more you move before you fall asleep, the harder it is going to be to fall asleep. So, and it's like if I came in to talk about sensory issues, right? Now, when I try to sleep, even now, sometimes it's I'll be thinking, right, I'm gonna pass out straight away. I'm absolutely knackered, and I will be on the brim of sleep. And next thing you know, there's something to do with the light. I can't have light. I just can't. I need it to be dark, because even if my eyes are closed and it's just the peeking of light through the door, then, and I happen to be facing the door at the time, then it's I can see the light through my eyelids. So only slightly, but that's enough to not make me be able to fall asleep. So, so I can't have light. but at the same time, I hate silence when I'm trying to sleep, because it's like the only sound I have then is the thoughts inside my head, which sounds a bit insane, but yeah. So I need noise, which may be a bit contradictory. Most people are like, oh, how can you sleep when there's noise going on? It's like, I don't know, I just can. It's like the noise is distracting me from my own thoughts and in a way lulling me to sleep. So one of the methods I actually use to get to sleep is music, because it has to do with like sensitivity that people with ADHD and autism feel, and more sensitive about things like emotions and such. And when the music's on, I kind of just fall straight into this like deep emotional state, and I get invested in the music and I fall asleep. You know, it's like dreaming while you're awake, daydreaming, I suppose. So, but then at the same time, when it comes to sensory things, it's not just like, it can be things like an itch. Like I'll be about to fall asleep and suddenly my shoulder will itch and I'll scratch it. And then my nose will itch and I'll scratch it. And then my head will itch and I'll scratch it. And I'm like, oh, please stop. Because every time there's the slightest like sense of something like that, if there's a cold draft running up my back, I can't fall asleep no matter what. It doesn't matter how tired I am. So, I mean, I've stayed up until like, well, I mean, I've done all-nighters, you know, but on average, I end up staying awake most nights between 4 to 5 in the morning, which is not great for your mental health. And I'm just saying that because it's proven that, you know, the sleep helps with your brain's activity, it helps with the quality of life because you're prepared for the day. But a lack of sleep will, especially with people with autism, actually make some of those symptoms worse, because it will interfere with your learning capabilities, with your quality of life throughout the day, with your behavioral issues. Because, I mean, people who don't have much sleep are cranky, right? But if you're a highly emotional person, or if you're severe on the spectrum and you tend to have anger outbursts, then that's going to be worse if you're also super, super tired. So it also sometimes has something to do with like melatonin levels. Like there's a imbalance with melatonin levels, but that ties in more, I think, to do with ADHD. I'm not sure. And just so you know, melatonin is a hormone in the brain that helps you fall asleep. So if that's already like messed up, then not much hope for your sleep schedule. I mean, it's like if you have poor sleep, then, and which is common with people with ADHD, as I've said, then it's like your internal body clock even is going to be off, you know? So there are times I wake up in the afternoon, I'm like, oh shit, really? It's the afternoon? Because I've lost like half the day and I have stuff I want to do. So yeah, and also in adults it's a little different, because sleep disorders or sleep issues when you have autism can get worse as you get older. But that's just because whereas you're a child and it just affects how you sleep, when you're an adult it's affecting more of your daily life. So, and it can interfere with some of the symptoms that you have from your autism. And because of that, it's often common for adults with autism to also suffer from nightmares, which I can confirm I have, but I've gotten used to them now. I know it sounds depressing, but don't worry, because again, I don't want to make it all depressing, because yes, while there are sleep issues, there are always ways to overcome them, as I keep saying in every video. It just depends on you finding the right one for yourself. Like I said, I use music, right? You just got to try and avoid things that are accidentally gonna like stimulate your brain more, because your brain is already stimulated with your thoughts alone. You don't want to do something like watch TV, play video games. But then again, I do know people who do that, and it helps them fall asleep. So, because it distracts them from their thoughts. So having said that, again, it just depends on whatever works for you. So, like I said, if you like the video, because that's about the gist of it, I think, you know, the main points I wanted to cover about it. If you liked the video, you know, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, follow, questions in the comments, requests as well if you have one, and please repost. And in the next video, I'll talk about how ADHD affects your sleeping. Until then, I hope you rest well, and I'll see you soon. Bye.